This is Jæren on the southwestern coast of Norway. It is a landscape I know well and a landscape I keep returning to. I have photographed these beaches, fields and old stone walls many times. But despite the familiarity, or perhaps because of it, I still find Jæren surprisingly difficult to photograph. The landscape is extremely flat. There are no dramatic mountains to provide an obvious subject, and no deep valleys to create natural layers in the composition. My photographs often end up looking exactly like the landscape, flat, empty, and slightly uninspiring. But I do not want to give up on it. I want to document this place and learn how to see it more clearly. Today I'm going to try again, and this time I have brought only one camera, my iPhone 17 Pro. The Norwegian author Alexander L. Kielland once said, "Anyone can admire Hardanger, but come to Jæren. Here, the landscape is for the more experienced eye." I think that is a wonderful description of the challenge. Hardanger gives you mountains, waterfalls and fjords. Jæren does not reveal itself quite so easily. Here you have to look for smaller things, the direction of a stone wall, light on a field, patterns in the sand, a solitary house, or a dark cloud moving in from the sea. Perhaps the problem is not that Jæren has too little to photograph. Perhaps I have been looking for the wrong kind of subject. Before coming out today, I asked ChatGPT for some practical advice. I received a long list, but I have selected 4 ideas that I want to test. I am particularly fascinated by the clouds over Jæren. They can change and transform the landscape immediately. It shifts so quickly from clear blue sky to the very dark, heavy clouds just rolling in. The clouds create depth and drama, and you can sometimes just see the patches of light moving across the fields or across the ocean. So I've been out for a couple of hours, walking around, looking for something to take photographs of, and I've had very changing weather. It poured down for a little while. I just had to go back to the car and continue driving. And when I arrived here at this little parking lot, we had the beautiful sunshine, and then I saw a new layer of these very heavy grey clouds rolling in from the sea. But sometimes when I go out, the clouds are just too white, and the sky is completely white, like a blank sheet of paper, and it makes it very challenging to make good images, because the sky is totally blown out, and the contrast between the bright white sky and the shadows on the ground is very difficult. So when I'm looking out at this very flat and wide field here, this is very typical for the type of landscape here in the Jæren, and I find it very fascinating, and I kind of want to document it through my photography, but it's very difficult to make any interesting photographs of this very flat landscape. It turns out quite boring sometimes. But on days like this, when you have these colors and in the clouds, very shifting colors, that's what I sometimes try to capture. But I struggle with composing these type of shots. Should I leave more of the ground level, or should I? Where should I place my horizon in the images? So this last couple of days I've been trying to focus more on the clouds itself, trying to make them the most interesting part of my images. And I also decided to only use my iPhone 17 Pro to make these images, just because I wanted to see what I can do with these raw images coming directly from the phone. Because sometimes when I just want to go for a walk and I don't want to bring any equipment, I know I always have my phone in my pocket. So that's my little project for the next few days. I actually went and asked ChatGPT about how I could improve my images of the Jæren landscape and make it more interesting. And I got a few tips. And the first tips was try to find a strong foreground. So instead of just standing in front of this flat landscape, pointing my camera or my phone towards the horizon, I should try to get down a little bit lower and pick out something interesting in the foreground. It could be some grass or a stone fence or a fence post, just anything to create more depth in the image. And I've been trying to do that some of my images, and I was thinking when I was standing here looking out on this field behind me, there's it's kind of a lack of something interesting to put in the foreground. We have these fence posts here, but they are kind of too thin and not very interesting. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but I can see that it does create a bit of depth in the image. And also, if I turn the camera the other way, you have this road leading towards the barn over there, and you have that little hill in the background, so I'll try to make a few images of that as well.